In the heart of a quiet valley lay the village of Aruzu, a place surrounded by lush forests, rolling hills, and a mysterious stream that shimmered under the sunlight like molten silver. The stream was known as Ndakiri, and it was said to possess magical properties. Legends spoke of how the stream was a gift from Adamma, the goddess of purity and justice, to reward the villagers for their kindness and unity. But over the years, greed and pride crept into the hearts of the people of Aruzu. Quarrels among families became common, the once thriving communal spirit faded, and the bonds that had united them began to crumble. The stream, once freely flowing and welcoming to all, grew colder and more foreboding. One fateful morning, as the villagers gathered around the stream to fetch water, an ethereal voice echoed across the valley. "You must not fetch water from my stream until you rediscover your heart's purity and the unity you have lost." The villagers froze in fear. The voice was unmistakably that of Adamma. As the goddess's warning faded into the wind, the stream transformed. Its shimmering waters became dark and still. Anyone who dared touch it would find their hands burning as though scalded by fire. Panic spread across Aruzu. Without the stream, their crops withered, and their wells ran dry. Among the villagers was Ifena, a kind-hearted but quiet young man who lived with his grandmother, Mama Oak. Unlike most of the villagers, Ifena had always been known for his helpfulness and humility. While others mocked him for being too soft, Mama Oak would often say, "The softest heart carries the strongest spirit." As the days turned into weeks, desperation gripped Aruzu. Many attempted to appease Adamma through sacrifices and rituals, but the goddess remained silent. The elders gathered in the village square, debating ways to resolve the crisis, but their arguments only deepened the divisions. Ifena, Mama Oak called one evening, as they sat under the large yadala tree outside their hut. "I had a dream last night. The goddess spoke to me. She said the only way to restore the stream is for someone with a pure heart to journey to the Cave of Echoes and seek her blessing." "The Cave of Echoes?" Ifena repeated, his voice tinged with fear. Everyone knew the cave was deep within the Forest of Shadows, a place said to be filled with spirits and dangerous creatures. "Yes, my son," Mama Oak replied, placing a comforting hand on his shoulder. "You have the heart to undertake this journey. But you must also teach the villagers to mend their ways. Only then can Adamma's blessing be complete." The next morning, Ifena stood before the villagers, explaining Mama Oak's vision. Some scoffed at him, others were skeptical, but a few, inspired by his bravery, pledged to help. Among them was Adiz, the headstrong daughter of the village blacksmith, and Keen, a farmer known for his strength and humor. "Ifena cannot go alone," Adiz said firmly. "This is our village's fight. We must stand together." With reluctant blessings from the elders, the trio set off. They carried only the essentials, food, water, and a small charm Mama Oak had blessed for protection. The Forest of Shadows was as eerie as the stories had described. The air was thick with mist, and the trees seemed to whisper secrets. Along the way, they faced many trials. In one instance, a mischievous spirit disguised as a child tried to lead them astray, but Ekeen's quick thinking saved them. In another, they encountered a pack of wild animals, and Adiz's bravery drove them away. Each trial tested their unity and trust in one another. Despite their differences, they grew closer, realizing that their strengths complemented one another. After days of travel, they finally reached the Cave of Echoes. Its entrance was marked by towering rocks carved with ancient symbols. As they stepped inside, the air grew colder, and the sound of their footsteps echoed endlessly. At the heart of the cave stood a pool of crystal-clear water, glowing faintly. "Welcome, travelers," a voice boomed, startling them. From the shadows emerged a radiant figure, Adamma herself. She was tall and graceful, her presence both comforting and commanding. "Ifena of Aruzu," she said, her gaze softening. "You have come seeking my blessing for your village. But tell me, why should I grant it?" Ifena knelt, his voice steady but humble. "Oh great Adamma, our village has lost its way, but we are willing to change. We seek your guidance to restore not just our stream but our hearts." Adamma regarded him for a moment before speaking. To prove your sincerity, you must face one final test. Beyond this pool lies the mirror of truth. Each of you must look into it and confront the truth of your soul. Only then will my blessing be yours. A golden light enveloped them, and the goddess handed Ifena a small vial of water from the pool. Pour this into the stream, and it shall flow once more. But remember, the true healing lies in the unity of your people. Ifena, Adis, and Ikin returned to Aruzu with the sacred vial of water from the Cave of Echoes. Their journey back was quieter but heavier with thought. Each of them reflected on the lessons from the mirror of truth. They understood that restoring the stream was just the beginning, the greater task lay in healing the broken hearts of their village. When they reached Aruzu, the villagers gathered to hear their tale. The trio recounted their journey through the forest of shadows, their meeting with Adamma, and the mirror of truth's revelations. As they spoke, the villagers listened in silence, their faces a mixture of awe, guilt, and hope. With great care, Ifena poured the vial's contents into the dark, still waters of Ndikiri's stream. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the stream shimmered, its waters turning crystal clear, the golden hue of the vial spreading like sunlight over the surface. The air grew warm, and a soft breeze carried the scent of fresh blossoms. The villagers erupted in cheers, but Adamma's voice echoed once more. Rejoice not in the stream alone, for its true blessing lies in the purity of your hearts and your bond as one people. The villagers soon realized that restoring the stream was only the first step. The rifts that had divided families and friends over the years could not be mended with water alone. The elders, moved by the trio's bravery, called for a village meeting to address the lingering tensions. During the meeting, long-hidden grievances surfaced. Some families spoke of betrayals over land disputes, others admitted to harboring envy or resentment. At first, the discussion grew heated, with voices raised and fingers pointed. But Ifena, emboldened by his journey, stood and said, Adamma's blessing is a reminder of what we once had and what we must strive to regain. We cannot drink from the stream if bitterness poisons our hearts. His words struck a chord. One by one, villagers began to apologize, some for old wrongs and others for recent slights. Adis and Ikin led by example, asking forgiveness for their past mistakes and vowing to celebrate their newfound unity. The villagers decided to hold a festival of renewal, an event that had not been celebrated in decades. The festival involved communal cooking, storytelling, and traditional dances around a great bonfire. Each family contributed something to the preparations: yams, palm oil, spices, firewood, and even music. The festival was held under the light of the full moon, with Ndikiri stream shimmering in the background like a river of stars. The highlight of the festival was a symbolic act. Each family drew water from the stream and poured it into a large clay pot at the village square. This gesture represented their commitment to unity and shared prosperity. Ifena, Adis, and Ikin were given the honor of pouring the first jars of water, to the cheers and chants of the crowd. A new beginning. In the weeks that followed, Aruzu began to thrive again. The stream nourished the crops, and the wells were replenished. But more importantly, the villagers worked together as they once had. Neighbors shared tools and harvests, children played together without fear of their families' quarrels, and disputes were resolved through dialogue and understanding. Ifena became a respected voice in the village, not because of his bravery alone but because of his humility and wisdom. Adis and Ikin also grew into admired leaders, each using their unique strengths to inspire others. The legend of the stream and the trio's journey became a story passed down through generations, a reminder of the power of unity and the importance of confronting one's faults. Moral lessons. 1. Unity is strength. A community thrives when its members work together, setting aside pride and selfishness for the greater good. 2. Self-reflection is key to growth. Facing the truth about oneself is often the hardest step, but the most necessary for personal and communal improvement. 3. Leadership through example. True leaders inspire others not by commanding but by demonstrating courage, humility, and integrity. 4. Forgiveness heals. Letting go of old grievances can lead to stronger relationships and a more peaceful society.